Happy New Year, everybody. It's Cody, and to kick off 2021, we are going to talk about the 5 athletes to watch this year in the hobby. "2020 is over. It is dead. Goodbye, 2020. We won't miss you. Let's put it in the rearview mirror and let's forget it ever happened. 2021 is here, and with a new year, hope springs eternal. New hope, new optimism, and a new batch of young athletes for hobbyists to start to scrutinize and to look into and to start collecting. So there's going to be a lot of new guys to keep an eye on in 2021. So we decided to break down the 5 most interesting athletes to watch in the hobby for this year. And we're going to start at number 5 with a little bit of a wild card. We're talking Lewis Hamilton, Formula One superstar. If you're into the racing world, you know exactly who Lewis Hamilton is. Now, if you're not into the racing world, let's just give you a rundown of exactly who this guy is. He is tied with Michael Schumacher with the most World Driver Championships in Formula One history at 7, and he's got a lot of room left to go. He was the 13th highest paid athlete in the world last year, 9th based on winnings alone, and when you account his salary is only winnings, that's pretty damn good. And he's got more Twitter followers than Tom Brady right now, by about 5 million. Lewis Hamilton is an international superstar. Why are we talking about Lewis Hamilton? No, we're talking about trading cards. Well, that's because Topps and Formula One have partnered together to create the first Formula One trading card set. And who is going to be the guy to chase? None other than Lewis Hamilton. So if you're looking for something a little bit different this year, or if you are into racing and you are ready for something outside of the world of NASCAR, Topps Formula One is going to be the product to chase, and Lewis Hamilton will be the name to get. At number 4 is the 2021 MLB Draft class. That's a lot more than 5 athletes. I realize that. Is this cheating? Yes. Yes, it is. Do I care? No. No, I don't. We're talking baseball after all. Cheating is part of the fabric of the game of baseball, so. But it's not just laziness that made me pick the entirety of the 2021 MLB Draft class. There's a reason for this. See, the MLB Draft has always been sort of the 3rd, sometimes even the 4th most popular draft in a given year. Part of that is just because we don't watch as much college baseball. Even the most diehard baseball fans don't know a lot of these guys. That's kind of on us. But this is going to change this year. There's going to be a draft league that's going to start right after the College World Series and end before the MLB Draft, where you're going to see the top draft prospects on display in what basically will be a sort of all-star league and like a month-long combine to really show off their skills. And that all leads up to the new MLB Draft time slot right in the middle of the All-Star Week that's going to be held in Atlanta this year, where we know the All-Star Week is a time where there's no other sports. Baseball is front and center. So you're going to have All-Star Week plus these young players that we just watched for a whole month. This is probably going to be one of the most hyped draft classes in MLB history. So what does this all mean for collectors? Well, it probably means that 2021 Bowman draft set is going to be huge. One of the most hyped in a long, long time. Not only because of this draft class, because there's a lot of top prospects we haven't seen on display over the last year. So more minor league baseball, plus the draft class, plus the draft league, plus the MLB draft of the All-Star game could bring a huge 2021 Bowman draft set. At number 3, we put LaMelo Ball. And really, this kind of just goes for the entire 2021 NBA rookie class. We have now gone over a year with 1920 NBA products. And look, Ja Morant and Zion Williamson could be generational talents. They were excellent this year when they were on the court and playing. And the hobby responded. But at a certain point, you can only open so many different variations of the same players over and over again. You want something fresh. You want something new. So when those first 2021 classes drop, those first 2021 NBA sets drop, I think it's going to be a huge boom for the hobby and a huge boom for NBA collectors. And the guy to probably watch will be LaMelo Ball. He is the most talented of his brothers. And, of course, that big baller brand does still hold some weight in the NBA. James Wiseman is another guy to watch. He's actually looked pretty good with the Golden State Warriors early on this season, although big men just don't sell the same as a guy with a silky smooth shot. And if LaMelo Ball can come into his own, then he is going to be the guy to have in this set. But however it happens, the 2021 rookie class in the NBA is going to be highly sought after nearly a year, over a year, of the same guys over and over again for NBA collectors. At number 2, Zion Williamson. We were just talking about him. We saw what the second year did for Luka Doncic. Luka went from a top prospect, a guy with a ton of potential, to one of maybe the top 5 NBA players right now. And the hobby responded swiftly. His prices are astronomical right now. So that brings us to Zion Williamson. He's now in his second year, but in a lot of ways, it still feels like his first year. Just didn't get a ton of playing time due to injuries and a minutes restriction in that first season. But in his second year, early on, he's getting minutes. And early on, he's shown that he is living up to his potential, especially on that Christmas Day game against the Miami Heat, over 30 points and 14 boards on the national spotlight. But there just still isn't a big body of work. And when you take that with the value of his cards right now, there's still a big bust potential here for Zion. I still think this guy could be an all-world talent. And frankly, if he has half of the season that Luka had last year, then the hobby is going to respond just as swiftly as it did with Luka, and his value will probably be justified. But it's just good to be wary because there have been plenty of guys with Zion's potential who just amounted to absolutely nothing. And at number 1, it's Trevor Lawrence. If you've been following football, this might be a pretty obvious pick. Football has exploded in the hobby thanks to a really strong QB rookie class. You got a rookie QB who did get hurt, the number 1 pick, Joe Burrow, but he was on pace possibly to break the all-time passing yards record for rookies. Justin Herbert, who has looked spectacular, probably the best of the bunch, and then Tua Tagovailoa, who is probably going to make the playoffs. So we know that the temperature of the hobby right now for football is hot. Now imagine throwing in a QB who is the most highly touted prospect since Andrew Luck. Things are about to go nuclear. Does playing in Jacksonville hurt this guy's value? I don't know, maybe a little bit, but the sky's really the limit for this guy. The only thing stopping him is if he's just an absolute abysmal bust right out of the gate, which is highly doubtful, or if he gets hurt, God forbid. None of those things hopefully will happen, and if they don't, just look out for what this hobby is going to become if Trevor Lawrence can fulfill his potential. Could be the next big QB to collect in the hobby. If he doesn't declare for the draft, which could still happen, he's only a junior, well, then just throw this all out the window. Who knows? If you like this video, make sure to subscribe to us here on Mojobreak Media and hit that like button. And of course, keep an eye out every Wednesday for our podcast, The Hype. Happy 2021, everyone, and happy collecting.